God, my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy there is belongs to me. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my love is my good. All the love there is belongs to me. My good is my love is my good. All the love I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God.
My good is my God.
My good
is my God. My good is my God.
My good is my God.
My good is my God. La 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 la. La 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 la. My good is my God. 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 My good is my God.
Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for that lovely music. And this is what we call the Prelude. It's the music before the event. And I'm so grateful that you had the opportunity to experience Karen, who will be coming up later in the program to provide you with a beautiful segment of relaxation and meditative music and music that moves your soul. My name is Dina Efferson Williams, and I am here to welcome you to this full moon ceremony. We are here to radiate healing energy tonight as we heal across the land. That's our theme for tonight. We have our guest speaker, Dr. Bary Fleet, and our wonderful musician whom you just heard, Miss Karen Mitchell. As we come together to radiate and receive spiritual energy with the use of the powerful time of the full moon, we dedicate and rededicate the focus of our mission, which is to celebrate the spiritual unity of all life and raise the consciousness of light and love through community meditation and education as we inspire and empower those who attend the World Healing Meditation Ceremonies and all of humanity with life-transforming experience of healing, oneness, and unity. We are saving our planet from the inside. Now, just a gentle reminder that as we move into the world and engage each other, we are looking at another aspect of God. And when love guides our words, our deeds, and our actions, all is well. That's all we need to remember. And everyone has something special that they're meant to do, something that they're meant to give into this world. So we offer this time as an opportunity for you to offer your gifts to the world. See everyone this way, and our world will change. Our world will change. Believe it. Tonight, doing our opening ritual and our closing ritual, tonight doing our opening ritual will be Liz Curran. Our Om Shanti will be led by the chant leader, Florence Riggs, and our full moon message will be delivered by Arlene Erickson. We invite you to be fully present with us tonight as you come, sit, join us. We invite you to fully participate. Allow the enjoyment that you are experiencing to expand. So I'm going to ask you to stop what you're doing right now. Tune in to this moment in time. Tune in to this activity of meditation. Tune in into this gathering of community as we, Spiritual Unity Movement, present to you healing across the land. So let's take several deep breaths together, in and out. And as you take another deep breath in, remember that each breath contains the very life force that moves your body. And it will release from your body and your mind the weight of obsessive and compulsive thinking. It'll release the weight of blame and guilt. So when you're feeling that spin beginning to take over your world or your moment, stop, take a deep breath, and remember, you've got it all under control. There's help right here. Just put your hand out. Something invisible will hold it. It's there. So, as again I say, take a deep breath and just let it go. So we have another fabulous full moon evening planned for you tonight. Our guest speaker, Dr. Bary Fleet, motivational speaker, consultant, and success coach. Our musician for tonight is Karen Mitchell. She's performed with musicians around the world. Her music can be seen and heard on music, radio, TV, and movies. Enjoy the ceremony. I love you. Talk to you soon.
Good evening. I'm Arlene Erickson. I have the message of the moon for October for you this evening. The major theme of the full moon for October 2020 is the release of tension. The October 2020 full moon is strongly influenced by Mars retrograde square Saturn. This indicates frustration and anger that has been building for at least 1 month. The October full moon also activates a fixed star that gives bad judgment and a quick temper. There will be a strong tendency to act impulsively and to lash out, outrage, rebellion, etc. But the tension created by the buildup of anger and frustration is best released more safely through flexibility and adaptation. The sun opposite the moon brings your home, family, and intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, or what you need versus what you want, create inner tension and external pressures. This can lead to conflict and crisis that drain your energy. The lunar qualities of emotions and instincts reach their peak at the full moon. Use your increased emotional strength and intuition to overcome any relationship challenges. Subconscious awareness allows for an impartial and balanced look at your personal relationships. You will clearly see any relationship dynamics or negative feelings causing disharmony. A buildup of unstable electric energy can feel exciting, but also scary. You may find it difficult to relax. especially if your freedom has been restricted or your creative self-expression blocked. This message of the full moon for October 1st, 2020 comes to us from Jamie Partridge, the Astrology King. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Hi. So, we begin our full moon meditation this evening with an invocation. Great Father, Mother, God, and Goddess, be with us here now. Hold this space sacred from which we may do our work. Open our hearts to your golden light that we may radiate love into the hearts of all. Open our minds to your divine knowing that we may radiate understanding into the minds of all. Open our spirits to your infinite presence that we may radiate awareness into the spirits of all. One heart, one mind, one spirit, unlimited and indivisible. Be still and know I am God. Acknowledging that spirit is one and the paths to God are many, in our opening ritual, we will honor the world's religions and the many names of God with a quote from each religion on the topic of love. A bell will be rung and a candle lit as the name of divinity is sounded for each of the major religions of the world. After which we will sound the Om. Om is an ancient sacred tone, a deepening. Sounding the Om allows an intoning of grace, balance, and empowerment. There is no right or wrong way. Simply relax into your own note, your own tone, open to the nuances of this sacred sound as it moves through you. Our opening ritual will conclude with all of us sounding the Om several times, each on your own note, in your own time, in a continuing free-form rhythm, creating a tapestry of healing sound. We honor all religions as the expressions of the one God, Great Spirit, Divine Essence. May the wellspring of love find in you an unimpeded channel. In the sacred tradition of Taoism, the Tao, spirit arms us with love. In the sacred tradition of Hinduism, Ishvara, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma. One best worships the Lord through love. In the sacred tradition of Buddhism, Lord Buddha, cultivate a heart of love. In the tradition of the sacred feminine, the goddess in all her forms, the divine mother loves, nurtures, and sustains all. In the sacred tradition of Judaism, Adonai Elohim, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself. In the sacred tradition of Christianity, God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God is love. In the sacred tradition of First Nations people of all lands, Great Spirit, love is the medicine that holds all life together. In the sacred tradition of Islam, Allah, this is love, to fly toward a sacred sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. In the sacred tradition of all other religions, you may now say any additional names of divinity that you would like to invoke and include in this ceremony. take a moment to center and ground and root. Let's take some nice, slow, deep breaths together. So we'll inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale. As you take another deep breath on the exhale, allow everything to just fall away. Any disturbances from the day, from the week, from the month, just let it all go. Imagine as you exhale, it's just falling into the earth to be absorbed. If your eyes are not already closed, go ahead and close your eyes. Continuing to breathe deeply. And imagine that there's a sun right above your head, shining its healing, energetic rays down into your skull. As these rays fill your skull, they warm, they heal, they energize. Imagine this divine light floating down your throat, across your shoulders. It fills your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, radiating out the hands. As it fills your torso, it envelops your organs in this healing, divine, sparkly light of perfection. It floats across the hips, across the pelvis, down into the legs. And as it fills the legs, it pushes out all impurities, all dis-ease, all discomfort deep into the core of the earth as it moves through the knees, the calves, the shins, out the bottom of your feet. So that you are now radiating divine light, healing energy. And imagine this light like gently pushing out into your auric field, expanding from you out into the room that you're in, enveloping the people that you love. Imagine this light floating out, right, across your neighborhood, your city, your state, your country, our world. As we gather with intent, we become these islands of light that are connected across the planet, enveloping Mother Earth in divine healing energy. And then ever so gently, ever so kindly, bringing your attention back into this moment, into this time, this place. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We have now set the tone for our full moon meditation tonight. We'll continue with this healing, right, for ourselves, for those we love, for our planetary life, right, our universe. Namaste.
Please join me in the Om Shanti, a quick version of it. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om. Om Shanti, Om. Peace within my mind. Peace within my mind. God and only God is moving me. Peace within my mind. God and only God I live to see. Peace within my mind. God and only God is moving me. Peace within my mind. God and only God I live to see. Peace within my heart. Peace within my heart. God and only God is moving me. Peace within my heart. God and only God I live to see. Peace within the earth. Peace within the earth. God and only God is moving me. Peace within the earth. God and only God I live to see. Peace within the earth. God and only God is moving me. Peace within the earth. God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om.
Hi. Back in December, when I was invited to come talk to you, I was so excited. It was an amazing opportunity. I was going to be, the original plan was I was going to come in May. The weekend before I was going to be with you, I was going to be with Reverend Patrick in one of his Primal Fire retreats at Catalina Island. And then on Monday, my wife was going to fly out and we were going to have a few days together to explore this part of California. We've never been out here before. We've never had time to do that. And then on Wednesday night, I was going to do the midweek service at Simi Valley Center for Spiritual Living. And then on Thursday night, I was going to be with you in the Onion with all of you. And I was so excited about getting ready to, not getting ready, but so excited about the prospect of just being with you and getting to know you and share with you. And then COVID hit. And March 19th and everything shut down. So we talked, and with a level of optimism, we rescheduled everything for the end of September, the 1st of October. And I was excited. And then as the pandemic has unfolded and realized that even if I were to come to California, you're not coming together. And so even if I were here, I wouldn't be with you the way I would really love to be with you. And as I was realizing that this experience wasn't going to be anything like I had expected, anything like I had desired, anything like I had pictured, the joy kind of drained out of it all for me. And actually not just with you, but with a lot of things. What used to be fun, what used to be the source of joy, has now felt like work. It's felt like obligation. And I was talking to Reverend Patrick about that 3 or 4 weeks ago and telling him, because as you know, one of his taglines is, at the end of his email, is all in joy. And I told him I want to be back in that place where I am all in joy, instead of in this place where it feels like work and it feels like obligation and joy somehow is missing. And that was the point at which he reminded me of the pivot process. Some of you may be familiar with this, but the way it works is every night before you go to bed, you kind of estimate how much of your thoughts, how much of my thoughts were spent thinking about the lack of joy, the disappointment, and how much of my thoughts were about joy and finding joy and experiencing joy. And the wisdom of this is that when I can get my thinking so that it's over 50% in the direction of thinking about what I want instead of what's missing, my life changes. And when I get my thinking about what I want up in the 80, 85, 90, 95% range, my life is absolutely amazing. So it really is about what we think. I teach psychology at a couple of different universities. And when I do the unit on perception, I have a couple of classroom demonstrations that I use to show my students that what we see isn't what's there. What we see is what we're looking for. And so when we're looking for all of the stuff that isn't there, that's what we see. And when we're looking for what's there, that's what we see. So kind of a silly example maybe, but the FedEx logo. When you see the FedEx truck go by, do you see at the end of the logo, do you see the EX from FedEx, or do you see the arrow? The Tostitos logo, when you get your chips out, when you look at the logo, Tostitos, do you just see the name, or do you see the two people sharing chips and a bowl of salsa? It's all in what we're looking for. And sometimes what needs to happen is we need somebody to point out to us, hey, there's more to the story. There's more to this logo than what you're initially seeing. Because it really is all about what we see. It's the picture behind the picture. So with that in mind, I want us to think a little bit about the theme for tonight, which is healing across the land. I would really enjoy having an opportunity to talk to the person or the group of people who came up with this theme, healing across the land. Because what I would really like to know is what it is that that person or that group of people thinks needs to be healed. And if I were with you in person, we'd have a little bit of interaction right now, because I would ask you and I would listen for your responses. What is it that needs to be healed across the land? What is it? In your mind, what needs to be healed? And while I can't hear your responses, I'm trusting that you've started the list in your head. But from a science of mind perspective, and I am a religious science practitioner, from the science of mind perspective, what Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, would tell us is that there's only one thing that needs to be healed. And that's our belief that something needs to be healed. Our belief that something is wrong and needs to be corrected, needs to be changed. So what I would like to do is remind us that we claim, a lot of us claim, that everything is in divine right order. And if everything is in divine right order, there can't be anything wrong. Despite our perception. The Course in Miracles teaches that we can choose to see through the eyes of God. I came across a phrase the other day, and I wish I could remember where I found it to give credit. But it was the invitation to consciously court the divine. Think about that. What would it be like if I saw the world, if I saw everything through the eyes of God? What would it be like if I consciously courted the divine? You might be familiar with Brother Lawrence, who years ago, decades ago, wrote a book called Practicing the Presence of God. And he was a very humble monk. And that's how he spent his day, practicing the presence of God. And he could practice God's presence when he was pulling weeds in the garden. He could practice God's presence when he was washing dishes in the kitchen. Wherever he was, that was sort of his call, to practice the presence of God. Joel Goldsmith wrote a book called Practicing the Presence. Kind of an updated version, but it's the same concept. Walter Starkey, great figure in the Unity movement, wrote a book called It's All God. And that was his contention. It's all God. There is nothing that isn't God. Now, whether you're comfortable using the word God or Spirit or Yahweh or whatever term you use to identify the higher power as you understand it, that's all there is. That's all there is. So some of you know that in the science of mind, we don't pray in the traditional sense of praying to God. We don't thank God for anything. We don't ask God for anything. What we do is treat. And the idea behind this is, if I thank God, that means God is something other than I am. If I ask God for something, that means God is out there, not in here in me. I'm not one with God. So when we treat, the treatment is always for the person offering the prayer. So, for example, when somebody comes to me and they're concerned that I was talking with a woman this morning who is very concerned that she might have cancer, and she's got a lot of symptoms that allow her to think that. And she asked for me to pray for her, to treat for her. And so in that situation, I don't ask God to make the cancer go away. I don't ask God to heal her. The purpose of treatment is always for me to know the truth. For me to know the truth about my friend who is right now living in fear because of the way she has already diagnosed herself. She's living in fear. She's kind of played out the images of, she's got these symptoms and she's decided that she's got cancer and that this might be terminal, and she's playing out all kinds of images about the implications of all of this. My job as a practitioner is to know the truth about her. And the truth about her is that she is perfect. That she is an expression of God. And the experience is real. The experience feels real. But the truth is that she is God's child. She is an expression of the divine. She's God. And nothing bad can happen to God. And so I know that she is perfect. And I will continue to know that truth about her until she experiences perfection, until she experiences wholeness, until she experiences health. And so what I want to do today is I want to share with you what's called the 5-step process of treatment. Because again, it isn't about what treatment does. It changes my focus from what's out there to what's in here, to what's all around us. It changes my focus to the power that created and sustains everything. It's the power in which everything is in divine right order. So the first step is to remember our purpose. And the purpose isn't about changing anything except how I think. It is about changing anything except my perception. It's our perceptions that get us in trouble. So the purpose of the treatment, using our theme for today, healing across the land, the purpose of our treatment is for me to know the truth that the land is perfect, that all is well in the land. So that's the purpose of the treatment. 5 steps. Step number 1 is recognition. And that's the time that I stop and I recognize the truth of God, the truth of spirit, the truth of whatever name we attach to our higher power. Christian Bible talks about the Word. The Word was spoken. The Word called everything into being. And what we know about the nature of this power, what we know about the nature of this dynamic force is that it's good. You know, the little childhood prayer, God is great, God is good. Yes, that's what God is. We said God is love. So that's what God is. And spirit, God is everything that's good. It is beauty. It is peace. It is harmony. It is joy. It is love. It is connection. Every adjective that we would put in the category of a description of something good, that's what God is. And we need to remind ourselves sometimes that that's what God is, that God is good. God is gracious. God is perfect. And once I remember and recognize the truth that I sometimes so flippantly, or not flippantly, that's too harsh, but I sometimes just say, it's time for me to recognize the truth, the real truth. And then once I've done that, the second step is called unification. And what that means is we take some time, we've established in our minds the truth about the life force that is behind everything, that created everything, that sustains everything. Once we've established in our minds the truth of that, now it's time for us to realize that everything that I've just said about ultimate reality is true about me. Because I am an expression of ultimate reality. I am what God looks like in this body. Years ago, there was a Sunday school class, and kids had their crayons out, and the teacher noticed this one boy who was just very intently drawing. And she said, "What are you doing, Billy?" She said, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And she said, "Well, nobody knows what God looks like." And he said, "They will when I'm done." The reality is, there's no place that I can look and not see God. No place that I can look and not see God. Now here's the catch. Oh, let me just stay with this a minute. So once I realize, once I identify, when I look in the mirror, I'm seeing God. When I look at the mirror, I'm seeing God. Everything around me, everything within me is just a different form for God. So recognize the truth about God, Spirit. Acknowledge that everything I've just said about that is me. And there's some people that say, if I just do those first 2 steps, that's really all I need. Because I will know that I, as Jesus said, I and the Father are one. Jesus and God is the same. Me and God is the same. You and God is the same. Whatever we look at is we're looking at God. Now the catch is that's often not what we see. Because we are embodied, because we are in a form, we are God in form, we tend to think that the form is real. So the third step is realization. And that's when I realize that everything that I can see with my eyes is form. It's in the physical world. And what I often don't see with my eyes is the truth that within the form, there is God. Behind the form, in the conception of the form, it was all God. It is all God. And so this is my work to do. The idea for me to play with is whatever the circumstance that I'm seeing, when you thought in your mind about what needs to be healed in the land, circumstances came to mind. I don't know what came to your mind, but circumstances came to mind. And what needs to be healed is the vision that we have to see through the illusion of the circumstance to the truth with a capital T, that it is all God. There is nothing that I can experience that isn't God. But it doesn't feel like that sometimes. I just learned yesterday about a young woman. She was in her mid-20s. She has been dealing with addiction off and on for the last 6 or 8 years. She's been in and out of rehab countless times. She and her husband also is in dealing with addiction. They have 2 small boys, one that's 18 months and one that's 3 years old. The 3-year-old had been taken away from them by DCYF several times. But just the other day, this woman's body was found in a really seedy part of town, dead from an overdose. And Dad has disappeared. I look at that and I listen to the mother of that woman, and she's the grandmother of these 2 little boys. And I want to say, where is God? I'm not going to tell her everything is a divine right order, but my job is to know that even when it doesn't feel that way, that's the truth. I don't understand it. There are those who say that form is an illusion, and that's a hard thing to sell to some people. Sometimes when my wife and I are watching television and something really horrifying happens, and I say to her, "Deb, it's an illusion. It's all about the camera angle. It's all about the camera focus. It's all about the props. It's all about the background music. It's all about the makeup. It's all about the script. Somebody has done an incredible job of creating the illusion that something bad has happened in order to get the effect from you." And she can get that. But it's a lot harder to see our life experience that way. But the truth is that God is in that experience. And maybe, and I don't understand all of the ways, but part of the way God is present is here's this grandmother who has said, I'll take these boys. They've been through enough, and I will give them the best life that I can give them. I love these boys. and I'm going to give my life to these boys. That's God. That's God in action. That's love in action. That's goodness in action. COVID-19. It has not been a pleasant experience for most of us, but that's our experience. But if we can claim that everything is in divine right order, then there is good in this. There is God in this. And I yet don't have the eyes to see all of it, and probably never will from this form that I am trapped in. But I know one of the things is when everything shut down the middle of March, and I had to quit going to the classroom to teach, and I had to learn how to teach virtually. I had to learn about Zoom. And I was kicking and screaming in my resistance to doing that. But once I did, and we started meeting via Zoom, I noticed something. One is I was fascinated by the fact that I have a student in Hawaii, I have a student in Colombia, South America, and I have a student in Istanbul, and we were all together simultaneously in real time. But the other thing that I noticed is students were much more willing to participate in class discussions than if we were in the room together. And I was really trying to figure that out. And I thought at first, maybe it's because we're all seeing each other's faces. We're looking at, so nobody's sitting and looking at back at somebody's head. It's like a great big conversation circle. But when I checked it out with the students, they said, no, Dr. Fleet, I feel a lot safer in my bedroom. I feel a lot safer in my living room. I feel a lot safer in my kitchen. I feel a lot safer on my back deck to talk. It feels like a safer environment than when I'm in a room surrounded by other people. So something good has come out of that. Our class ended up with much more intimacy via Zoom than we would have ever had person to person. Pretty ironic to me. I don't know the good. I haven't yet developed the eyes to see the good in the political divisiveness that's going on in our country right now, in the mean-spirited comments that people are making about each other. And these are good people. And that's the other thing. Sometimes it's really hard for me to see the God in some other people. And my wife would tell you that my biggest challenge is seeing the God in that person that just cut me off on the interstate. It brings out the not nice part of me. And she will kind of chide me and saying, Bary, child of God. And I will say, yes, masquerading as a real jerk. There's lots of things in our land. The whole air pollution. I don't see the good in that. I don't see the good in the way we're polluting our waters and our air. But if everything is in divine right order, then I have to trust that. So even when I can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that I haven't developed the consciousness to see it. So it's the book of Hebrews in the Christian Bible says faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. Faith is the promise that even though I can't see it, the truth is there, the truth is behind the veil. You see, if God is good and God has created everything, then there is no such thing as evil. There is only the relative absence of good. It isn't that there are evil powers and evil forces at play, although it appears that way to us. But that's our perception. The truth is that it is all in divine right order. You know, sort of like the classic example of if I'm in a dark room and I open the door, light comes in the room. It isn't that darkness goes out. The light has been there all the time. I've just been in a relative state of lack of light. So we have recognition, we have unification, we have realization. So it's our job to realize the truth behind the veil of what we're experiencing, behind the veil of what we're perceiving, what we're seeing. The fourth step is to give thanks. To give thanks that I can know the truth, that despite how things look, despite how things feel, there's a bigger truth behind it. I was talking to my wife last night, and she was talking about a situation that she has a really hard time seeing any good in it. And I said, well, if you think about one piece of a million-piece puzzle, it's hard to see how that piece fits in. It's hard to see how that piece is a part of something bigger. But if we could see all the pieces put together, it's like, oh, now I see it. Now I see it. And when we can get to the point of saying, now I see it. Now I see the truth. Now I see the joy. Then we can give thanks that we have that vision, that our vision has been corrected. Just like I have glasses to correct my vision, we can change our thinking and correct how we see things. And even when all we see is the bad, the negative, the troublesome, I can still know that behind that is something I'm really curious about. And I hope I live long enough to see how it is good. And I hope I live long enough to see the presence. But if this body doesn't live long enough, it's okay. Because I will continue to live on. And at some point, I will see and know the truth. So once we give thanks for that, then we let it go. And we can go about our day knowing that everything might not be the way we want it to be, might not be the way we would script it, might not be what we understand. But it's okay. It's okay, because everything is in divine right order. Years ago, I had a mentor who was teaching theology in New York City. And one night, his 21-year-old son jumped off the George Washington Bridge. And not too long after that, he was giving a lecture. And after the lecture, there was a question and answer period. And somebody stood up and said, Bill, where was God the night your son jumped? And he said, God was in the Hudson River with his arms outstretched, ready to take my son, catch my son, and take him home to be with me. When we know, what an amazing ability to see that in the midst of what others might see, a horrible, horrible tragedy. So then once we know that, the final step is releasing it. Let it go. We have claimed what is true. We've claimed what is true about us. We've claimed what is true about the world. We've given thanks that we know what is true, and we let it go. And we go about our day having fun, experiencing joy. So here we go. I remember this by, are you ready to receive? Recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. So here's my invitation for you. Consciously court the divine. Spend some time today in meditation, practicing the presence of God. And here's what's important. We need to practice it all the time so that when we do get hit by those waves of experiences that aren't in alignment with what we would desire, that we still have the capacity to practice the presence of God. Choose to focus more on the good. Choose to focus more on God. Because the more we can do that, when we can get our thinking, more than 50% of our thoughts are about the good that's in the world, there'll be a fundamental shift in us. And when we can get our thoughts up thinking about God and goodness and love and joy and peace and all that God is everywhere, when we can get that up to 80, 85, 90, 95%, we will be transformed in some amazing ways. So the extent to which you accept my invitation is the extent to which there will be healing across the land. And you'll feel good about being you. And that's a promise. Thanks for having me.
I can cry about my day, say everything went wrong. No one sings their song my way. Or I can laugh about my day, the good it really brought me, the patience you taught me each step of the way. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Whatever the lesson, love is the answer. Whatever way we choose to live, love is the answer. Love is the answer. I can cry about my life, say everything goes wrong. No one's ever on my side. Or I can laugh about my life, the kindness you've shown me, the love that has grown me each step of the way. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Whatever that lesson, love is the answer. Whatever way we choose to live, love is the answer. Love is the answer. All the ways I tried to save my broken heart, all the days I cried alone into the wind. I never knew love was right there from the start, and all I had to do was go within. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Whatever the lesson, love is the answer. Whatever way we choose to live, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. have made a decision about my life. It may be a strange surprise to some. I have always thought I wanted what so many want, but it's to a different conclusion I've come. I see water rushing through an ancient riverbed. I see snowfall floating high above the hill. I see an eagle soaring to the red horizon. And I know that's how I am meant to live. Oh, I need to be free. I will go where the wind will carry me to be free. Oh, to be free. You won't find me playing any kind of lottery, and you won't catch me wishing on a falling star. You will find me exactly where I'm meant to be, yeah. Wherever kindness and beauty are. 'Cause I know that humankind is my family, and this entire precious planet is our home, while some others build their walls and boundaries. We will float above them all. Hell will never be alone. No, I need to be free, and I will go where the wind will carry me to be free. Oh, to be free. When I hear a child singing, when I see a dolphin swimming, when I watch a dancer moving like the wind, it's a calling, it's a vision, it's a voice, and I must listen. So today, this very day, I'm stepping in. Oh, I need to be free. I will go where the wind will carry me to be free. Oh, to be free. Sun comes up, another day. Coffee cup and I'm on my way. The only prayer I ever pray is get me there on time. Meeting with the powers that be, downsizing the company now. There's no more room for me. I haven't got a dime. What do I do now? What do I know? The only thing that never changes is that everything changes. If there was only one prayer ever spoken, only one prayer ever heard, only one heart ever broken, it would be enough to speak these words. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. If there is only one love that we're giving, only one breath and one voice, only one hurt we're forgiving, it would be enough to make this choice. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. There is power in a grateful heart, turning every fear into a work of art. If there's only one life that we're living, only one breath and one voice, only one reason for living, it would be enough to make this choice. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you, yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Burl, and I'll be leading the World Healing Meditation this evening using a drum. Meditating with the drum, like pretty much all meditation techniques, uses a focus for the conscious mind, something to occupy it, something it can hold on to, such that it stops listening to that voice in our head that chatters away all day long. And deprived of conscious attention by this focus, the chatterbox will quiet down and become still. When I become still, there's a moment of experience of expanded awareness, of connection to a greater whole, that moment of being aware of being a droplet in an infinite ocean of consciousness. That's what meditation is about for me. So if you would, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and release. Just allow all the stress and tension of the day to flow away with that breath. Once more, nice deep breath. And release, settling deeper into relaxation. Now just breathe normally, and with each exhalation, feel yourself slipping deeper into relaxation. Focus on listening. Give the drum 100% of your conscious attention, ignoring the chatterbox. And since this is a world healing meditation, when you reach that place of stillness and connection, open up your hearts. Allow healing energy to flow through you and radiate out into your life, the lives of those you love, and out across the planet, healing all who are in need. deep breath, and as you release, become aware of your body sitting in meditation. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes, alert and aware, here and now. Namaste.
Hi, and welcome back. I would like to thank you for joining us tonight as we end this full moon world healing ceremony. Remember that as you go out together, our job is to radiate the spiritual energies that we have received here tonight. I'd like to take this time to thank all of you for joining us, to thank our speaker, Dr. Bary Fleet, to thank our musician, Ms. Karen Mitchell. It's been a wonderful evening together. Take these words that you've heard and really turn them inward and then focus that outward into the world. Take that music that you've enjoyed and play it again and again to raise the vibration in which you live. SUM is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and your donations keep us moving forward and keep our work going forward. So we invite you to donate. If you see it on this page, please press click. If not, just go to the link and type in the details, and we appreciate and accept your donations. We are doing our best to heal this planet from the inside, where life is built anyway. So have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the month. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye and enjoy. And now I'd like to present Kathleen Ale, who will close us out with our closing ritual. Have a blessed month. See you then.
Good evening and welcome. I am Kathleen Ale, and I will be doing the closing rituals for the close of our full moon ceremony tonight. Let's just take a moment to savor the centered focus of the healing energy that we have created together. Remember, as you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. Knowing yourself as a being of light and spirit, you add one more grain of sand, the scales that hold the balance for our global future. Know that at a certain point, just one grain of sand can tip the scales, and you, in this very moment, may be that grain of sand. Let us now embody the spiritual power that has been generated here tonight from the forces of light. Let us focus that energy and allow it to rise up, and together, let's pour this blessing out into our world, extending its positive, healing effect out throughout the awareness of humankind and the consciousness of our entire planet. I will sound the bell, signaling our extended free-form Om. As the sacred tone flows through you, feel yourself participating, drawing this healing energy deeply into yourself and sending it out into your life and into our world. As we sound the Om, let us consciously extend our blessings to Mother Earth, including all sentient beings, including the air and the water, and to all of the beings in need of healing. For those that we would like to include in this healing circle, please speak their names now. Nicholas, Teresa, Avilokoteshvara, Kuan Yin, Sri Yukteswaraji. And with power, love, and intelligence, let us send out this healing light to transform the consciousness of all humankind. Continue with a free-form Om as you wish, and may no being suffer. Blessings and good night.